The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized for 1 hour.
Mr. Speaker, for the purposes of debate only, I yield the customary 30 minutes to my good friend, the gentleman from Massachusetts, the distinguished ranking member of the Rules Committee, Mr. McGovern, pending which I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. During consideration of this resolution, all time is yielded for the purposes of debate only. I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and insert extraneous material on House Resolution 327.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, last night the Rules Committee met and reported out a rule providing for the consideration of H.R. 2811, the Limit, Save, and Grow Act of 2023, and House Joint Resolution 39, a joint resolution of disapproval that ends President Biden's rule protecting Chinese solar manufacturers that are illegally violating U.S. trade law. The rule provides for consideration of H.R. 2811 under a closed rule. It provides 2 hours of general debate and 1 motion to recommit. The rule also provides for the consideration of H.J. Res. 39 under a closed rule with 1 hour of general debate and 1 motion to recommit. Mr. Speaker, earlier this year, the United States government hit our statutory debt limit of $31.3 trillion. That's an astonishing number. It's over 120% of our annual gross national product. This level of spending is simply unsustainable, and the American people know it. 3 out of every 4 Americans support taking action on the national debt. They know that if we do nothing and keep moving forward as we have been doing, the result will be leaving a huge burden for our children and grandchildren, a pile of debt, a weak economy, and a broken currency. Now, you would think, given all that, the staggering reality, President Biden and congressional Democrats would acknowledge the need to do something to address this problem. You would think they would be open to doing what we have done many, many times in the past, to couple needed fiscal reforms with an agreement to lift the debt ceiling. You would even think that President Biden, who himself personally negotiated several debt ceiling increases over the years, would be willing to sit down with us and talk. But instead, we've heard none of this. No, we will not negotiate with you. No, we will not talk about the federal budget. No, we won't look at common sense reforms. No, no, no. Instead, President Biden and congressional Democrats insist it's their way or the highway. No reforms, no changes to federal spending, not even clawing back the unspent pandemic relief funds that are no longer necessary. With the passage of the Limit, Save, and Grow Act, the House will stand with the American people who desperately want us to fix our national debt problem, and that fix starts here in today's bill. Our second item for today, Mr. Speaker, H.J. Res. 39, is a joint resolution of disapproval of a Biden administration rule that would suspend import duties on solar panels made with components from the People's Republic of China. Mr. Speaker, Communist China does not play by the same rules as the rest of the world. Chinese leadership will do whatever it takes to advance the Chinese Communist Party's interests to the detriment of the American economy. China has been unfairly subsidizing the production of solar cells and modules and dumping them on the U.S. market at below cost. It should come as no surprise that China is also attempting to get around the existing import duties by routing their subsidized solar components through 4 countries: Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Yet instead of holding them accountable for their actions, President Biden suspended the penalties for 2 years, presumably to appease climate activists who have no interest in America's job creators and manufacturers. If the House does not act, China's bad behavior will go unchallenged, and America's solar manufacturers will continue to get a raw deal. Mr. Speaker, we must stand up to communist China. We must call out their inappropriate behavior on the global stage, and when it is called for, we must protect American manufacturers against unfair competition. H.J. Res. 39 will accomplish all of these goals and will do so in a bipartisan manner. Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to join me in supporting this rule and the underlying legislation, and I reserve the balance of my time.